unfortunately, what we see in most marriages and relationships
Yeah.
is not that they're hand in hand, but one person is pulling the other along.
Yeah.
So that's the choice.
Hmm.
That's the choice we need to.
No, but actually, to me, honestly speaking, it's too simple. Marriage is too simple. If you just drop your, this logical, that rational mind, and just move on, and both, of course, both sides. Otherwise, it's a real hell. All right, we'll ask questions, and whoever wants, raise your hand, and then if we don't have, then we have some on the chat box. We'll ask Vasudha to read it also. So Vedasi, since you are there, you raise your hand. Let's hear. Okay.
Hi, Susan. Uh,
Hi.
so I could hear partly. My battery died in the middle and I was traveling. But when I came home, mom told me something about you talking about writing a book on twin flames. So I wanted to know if that's a fictional book or that's your experience or what exactly the book is about.
So I entered the Romance Writers of America course at the beginning of the year. And I said to them, everything in my book is real. They said, what do you mean? I said, well, I've lived a very long life. I've had a very colorful life. I don't have to sit there and invent stuff. I've got experiences. I've got memories. It's all real. They were, really? So, yeah. So it's all real. But of course, you have to make it a little bit. I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody. That's my nature. But they've been drilling it into me that I have to have some dramatic things and some, twists and turns. And so that part I'll hopefully make up. I don't think the two things I told you about my own life that were pretty horrific, need to be in there, but maybe that's what I'll put in. Thank you.
Amazing.
Beautiful. Yes, Vasudha, any question from you? We thank Vasudha. She is the one who introducing us to Suzanne, and it's a great introduction. Yeah. Would you like to ask some question, Vasudha?
For Susan, I don't have any question, but Susan, since you talked about nonviolent communication by Dr. Rosenberg Marshall, which we have both done it and experienced, that is the nonviolent communication is a key of all the relationships to make it better and better in life. How he gives the example of wolf and giraffe and all in a simple word to solve this problem. Can you explain that? Is it possible?
Yeah, sure. So he worked with a lot of children, not just adults. So he enjoyed puppets and he had a guitar and he was, your typical 1970s guy in America. So he sang folk songs and used puppets. And the giraffe is the mammal that has the biggest heart. So loving communication, he described as the giraffe. And he said that people who don't use loving communication, they just have a communication problem. They're not wrong, evil, bad, all the things we tend to think. They're not. They don't have the vocabulary they need. And so he called them jackals. And for some people, it was helpful, but I did 300 TV shows, mostly about communication and relationships. And frankly, I didn't use the puppets because I wanted to be sure that people, grown-ups, understood that this was for them. And of course, if they wanted to teach it at home with their children, of course they could use puppets. Puppets are fun for everybody. But this is so much literally the agony that people face in their lives 7 days a week, often 24 hours a day, blaming the other person for their pain. And guess what? I walked into those relationships that caused pain. And I didn't walk out immediately. My first marriage, I looked at my husband as we were getting married. And I said to myself, Susan, you have made a mistake. This is going to be great for him. This is not going to be great for you. And I was right. But I got into it that way. He was a good salesman. That was the trick. He was an excellent salesman. And I got out peacefully. I got out peacefully, and that's what's important. By the way, I am a divorce coach. I am a mediator, but I am the specialist in no court divorce. And I've mediated divorces all over the world, just as I've mediated reconciliation all over the world, because people are people. It's all the same.
So beautifully articulated.
So
Yes.
next question is from Pranali Patil. She's saying, are marriages predestined?
I believe that some are. That electrical spark you feel when you meet somebody? Beware. That electrical spark, in my experience, simply means that I have known this man before in a previous life. In that first marriage, at one point, I saw that we had been in Greece together. We had both been boys in a school, and he had been a bully then. And nothing had changed, So that was predestined, but I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have the training to recognize it and not move forward, which I have now, because I've not married many people who proposed to me. I was telling Manoj-ji, 2 men proposed to me on my first date with them at the restaurant, one before the food was even delivered.
Lucky
Yeah,
girl.
really. I was crazy. And the waiter says, "What would you like to drink?" I order wine. He orders wine. The waiter comes, and this man, who I've known for like 10 minutes, starts to stand up. I said to him, "Please don't." He said to me, "You don't know what I'm going to do." I said, "I really do. I really do." And he gets very huffy. "I was going to propose to you." I said, "Yes, I know. So please don't. And thank you. That's very sweet. And let's just have a quiet dinner." So
he was
must have.
He was carrying a diamond ring for you.
Please, right? But he must have had that spark. He must have had some experience that this was the one, which was not mutual at all. I didn't have any experience except how strange, how totally strange, this is so bizarre. But that spark can get us each into a lot of trouble unless we take the time to find out, do this person's needs work with my needs? They don't have to be a perfect match, but if this person is an athlete and I don't understand sports at all, I was a dancer, I was a cheerleader. Okay, I could cheerlead you if you're an athlete, but I don't really want to spend my life doing that. So what are we going to do? Be at odds. Or maybe somebody's idea is going out all the time. Maybe somebody has this huge need for socializing when I have a huge need for learning and introspection and personal evolution. Where are we going? Well, we may be going places, but not together. So, yeah.
We'll take another question, Gopal. You can ask. We'll take verbal questions because Susan, make the answers short, so we'll have many questions.
Okay.
Yeah, Susan. So I think it is the continuation of what you were trying to explain. So my question is about the expectation, right? I mean, when we talk about marriage, right? I mean, each partner has different expectation, and that's what you were trying to kind of allude to. So, I mean, I want to know a little bit more, like what is your thought, right? I mean, based on how do you manage this? How do you, or what are your thoughts around this?
And is this your lovely wife?
Yes, he is.
And we are being fascinated. We do love Manoj-ji a lot because it has been a 1 month ever since we did this magic of marriage course. I'm into, so right now my daughter, she's seen in India, and she never seen me and my husband in such a beautiful harmony. So I would
Ah.
yeah, I mean to say we're in a different mode, different stage. And I thanks every day Manoj-ji a lot for creating such a difference in each and every's life. And I would recommend
Thank you.
him to do lots of this kind of program. I mean to say people are desperate.
Suman, romantic.
I can hug him and give him such lovely. Yeah, you can.
She
That.
said that
The answer to the question, and it's the most serious question for most people, is to have clarity about your own needs and understand you have a preference that someone else is meeting those needs, but they're your needs. And that goes for everything. Every need you have. If you believe it's her job or his job to meet those needs, you are in big, big, big trouble.
yes.
Because nobody's committing sati anymore, so forget it. So you've got to be able to meet your own needs and motivate and inspire the other person when and if, and figure out a way and create cooperation. And that's what the 6-part conversation is about. So you really look at what you're feeling and needing and what she is feeling and needing, Gopal. And together, in a non-negative emotional way, and certainly without pointing fingers, come up with a solution and make it a lifetime of experimentation too.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
You-
yeah. Thank you, Susan. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you.
Yeah. So anyone has any questions, raise your hands, or otherwise we'll read the ones which is there on the, like Julie asked, is there any remedy you have for any soul contract person who just wants to trouble you, to leave you peacefully?
Yes, I have a very dear friend, Howard Wills, who is a famous person who disappears horrible diseases all the time. And he has channeled prayers that are about forgiveness. And they work miraculously. Forgiving myself, forgiving others. And we do it with the whole lineage. So when you think about a soul contract, high probability this has been going on lifetime after lifetime, and probably throughout your lineage. And the experiences of my lineage, it's millions and billions of thoughts, words, and deeds. So people have harsh, cruel, critical thoughts about us. And they say, if they do, things about us and to us, etc. So I do these prayers every day. Takes about 7 minutes in the morning, 7 minutes at night. And they're free. You can download them. howardwills.com, WILLS. They're the most powerful way I've ever found to clear out these soul contracts. They work. Thank you.
Wonderful. Yeah, Nina, would you like to ask some question in the dark, but ask?
Yeah, so accepting a situation in a positive way to whatever is happening is the secret, is right? That's what I got the crux of.
So
Like-
that's the first step. So if an elephant is, God forbid, standing on my toe,
Yeah.
I have to accept the fact that it's happening, because otherwise that's just crazy, right? However, once I accept it, I have to get myself in my body and my brain. I have to calm myself down. I have to use whole brain functionality to solve the problem. Am I going to get a forklift to move the elephant? Am I going to get the elephant trainer to move? All these options are always there. But if I'm busy saying, he shouldn't, he shouldn't, he shouldn't, I'm never going to get a solution. And so accept what is, because it already is. And it's insane not to, in my opinion. And it's powerless not to. And then immediately go into brain breathing, because it's the fastest, easiest way to wake up, be present. And then look at your options. Logically analyze the problem. Look at who can help you solve the problem. Look at outside the box solutions to the problem. Figure out your action steps, all of the above.
And the way you do the brain breathing is you breathe in, hold 50 seconds, and then
You breathe in through both nostrils. You hold it to the count of 3. Whoosh out. And as you whoosh out, you're literally letting go of all the misery, suffering, whatever. But remember, you have to learn how to do this when you're alone. But if you're in a conference room with your boss, or if you're sitting in front of, a very important person, you're not going to be making a big whoosh sound. You're going to do it invisibly, but you have to practice alone first.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, so Kapila, any question from you?
There are many questions in the chat box, Manoj-ji. Shall I read them first?
Yes. Yeah, you ask, but we'll make the answers short, Susan.
Yes.
And, if you need more of an answer, get in touch with me. I will take the time gladly. I will answer you fully. So
That's
for
wonderful.
today, fast.
That's wonderful.
You have to give your contact. Someone has put it earlier. We can put it again. Yeah.
Yeah. So Suresh is asking, then can you give a short answers or a one-line solution? What is the reason of divorce increased in India? I think Manoj-ji has already answered, but let's hear it from you also, Susan. That why the divorces are increasing in India or particularly in any other countries also.
Well, for how many thousand years, the idea of marriage was not this romantic idea of marriage. It was, you're in that caste, you marry someone else in that caste, your family arranges it, you don't see the bride or the groom. So it was a difficult situation.
Yeah.
And to make the transition into modern days where you have dating apps, of course, there was going to be a critical load of separations and divorces because suddenly people had other options,
That's right.
It's like, when I went to Chennai and I saw that you could get pizza, Pizza Hut, I was all excited because I'm, vegetarian. Pizza, great. The opportunity is there. People buy it, something they might want. Same thing with dating. But the real question is, some arranged marriages are magnificent.
That's right.
Among my closest friends, or a couple from Mumbai, magnificent marriage, arranged. It's just the question of who's doing the arranging. Do they consider the needs of the people? Do you have the right to say, you have to have the power of veto. Otherwise, it's challenging.
It is. It is. And I always jokingly mention to we all are like, my age is like 45 plus. So we all have a 20 years plus marriages. I say everybody at some point of time had the notion that the other person would be better. But now we have understood everybody is same. So don't say that, okay, let me try this shop pizza. This would be tastier. Every pizza more or less tastes the same. So I think that comes with experience also. And Ashokji is asking why marriages starts dying after a few years, or there is a drastic reduction of spark in life. What could be the reason for that?
I teach Tantra. I teach Tantra with my clothes on and my clients' clothes on. over the phone. Nobody's touching anything. It is an understanding of how to enter into a deeply loving, passionate state and connecting in a deeply loving, passionate way with the partner that you choose. That's what's missing. But you guys invented it. I've been to Khajuraho 3 times. You invented it. So
We lost it now.
anyone who has a desire for spark, you're in the right place. It's, I mean, I can teach you, honestly, but you're in the right place. So it is that, as Manoj-ji said, it's the physical tingle you feel when you're approaching that person, near that person.
Correct.
But then it's also needs to be the spiritual connection.
Right.
It needs to be an intellectual similarity that you
Right.
have to be on the same page, body, mind, and spirit, all the chakras. And for me, the chakras need to be up to number 10. That's me personally,
Correct.
and people say to me, huh? What? Yeah, all the chakras, all the way up here. So depending on the needs of your partner,
That's
you're
right.
going to have to evolve so that you can provide an authentic, lifelong spark, if you want to.
Yes, and I think it's more of a self-work because if I'm not dependent on other person for the needs, everybody, Manoj always says, you be in a state of joy, what other person is bringing to your life is icing on the cake. They are not creating the joy, they're just adding the joy. That makes a lot of difference. Thank you so much. And Mulk Raji, if you have a question, let's take you on the spotlight. Yes, Mulk Raj. Unmute yourself.
Mulkaji, before you ask, I'll ask everyone because we are coming to that ending part. So before everyone is rather before everyone is here, how many of you? This is a common question always. How many of you are willing to host Susan on her next visit to? No, you write on the chat box from where? From where? That means
Bangalore.
yeah, no. You write on the chat box so she'll know that how many people, we, that's the beautiful part of India that everyone is one family. And yeah, you come. Be. So you have Kapila, you can read out from where not people are there. Of course, in Mumbai, we are there. We are in Mumbai in Shivaji Park. You can stay with us and so many more places. Let's see. Yeah.
So sweet. You're all so sweet. Thank you.
So
So
welcome
so
to
lovely.
Nashik, Mumbai, Gurgaon, Pune, Bangalore, Thane, Katarkhadak, Indore, Toronto, Solapur, and Houston, Germany, Amravati, uh, Ajanta, Alora, Aurangabad. Wow. And yes, more of Alangar, Nivasa.
And even I have been to Pune, and even I have been to Aurangabad. Yeah, good.
That's
Thank you. Yes, you have a question, sir.
Yes, unmute.
Uh, my question is how forgiveness works. Firstly, it works on us as emotionally, and then also by chemistry also, because some chemical changes also. Does it affect the person somehow whom we are forgiving, because he is not aware that we have forgiven him?
So, two-part question that I'll make 2 fast answers. This gentleman, Howard Wills, cures cancer by eliminating it from the lineage through forgiveness prayers, and heart disease, and my lungs are perfect now, etc., etc. So the forgiveness prayers heal the body of the person saying the prayers. I've seen this for 19 years, thousands of people. Simple prayers. Now, this man, Howard Wills, has a gift that I don't possess. So when somebody has these terrible things, I send them to him. I don't attempt to disappear these horrific diseases. However, for me, it creates peace and health in my body, peace and health in my relationships. They feel the vibration. How is it possible? Today we have one of our guests is my dear friend Arno Jaffe. Hi, Arno. And there are 9 videos on my YouTube channel in which I interviewed Arno about motivating and inspiring his son, who at the time was deeply troubled, to return home after many years and get healthy. And so there was no communication in the beginning. And in a very short period of time, days, not weeks, his son called the mother, and then Arno went up to San Francisco at his son's request and brought him home. I have seen this happen hundreds of times, that the husband who's moved out and has blocked the wife's phone will not answer a text, will not, suddenly, I don't know, Susan, he showed up at the door and he apologized. So the vibrational state that each of us is shifts as we practice forgiveness of ourselves, forgiveness of others, ask others to forgive us. And if we focus on the person's actual name, so let's say if there's someone in your life, sir, who, this is applicable to, then you would say his or her name. And please forgive me. I forgive you. Let's forgive ourselves. And there's a couple of pages of prayers I can send to anyone who wants them. And you do that, and you just are a different vibrational, loving energy than you were before you did it. And I do it twice a day. I do it in the morning. I do it at night as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We have this practice of gratitude. We call it lotus gratitude.
Thank you.
Lotus gratitude, yes, we do that.
And, we have this lotus in the morning. You open, and like you open from Nitya Shanti, we learn, and we just say 10 gratitude points in the morning, visualizing. In the night before we sleep, 5 of what went our way, 5 which did not go our way. Thank everything. Forgive yourself. I said, like you said, in that empathy, self-empathy. So most of us land up criticizing ourselves in shame, guilt, So first thing we need to do is we need to first accept ourselves the way we are, however so-called bad and good we give these labels. Then comes the outer expression, which happens naturally. So I would just like you to, some people are asking your WhatsApp number, or even I would want to send you some videos and receive some from you. So I don't know, it's not there in
I'll tell you. No, I'll just say what it is.
Yeah.
Manoj-ji, I
it's-
sent you.
Okay, you can tell for other people also, yeah.
So you have it or you need it?
Swati, you can send me at least, yeah. And if you're okay, then by email or however people want to contact you.
Email is much better for me, obviously, because getting hundreds of WhatsApps in a day or 2 days is not helpful, because I have a business that I have to run, and I have to work in addition to this. So if you send me emails, I promise that you will get your questions answered, and you'll get these tools, because I teach hundreds of tools. So when you tell me your problem, then it becomes very clear which of the tools is most valuable for each of you.
Beautiful. Yeah. So any last question, or rather, I will take one. We'll take one photograph first. Okay, so everyone get ready to take a photograph first of all. Put on your videos, and first we'll take our photo. You have a permanent smile, so that doesn't matter. Yes. And at the count of 3, yes, you're always smiling, so no need. Okay. Yeah. And we'll take everyone's photo. Can you all put on your videos? And with the heart, of course. Put on your heart. Yes. And we have, at the count of 3, give a big, big smile with white teeth. 1, 2, and 3. Yes, we can see your color of teeth. We have a few people in the West who are here with us also. So Jagdish ji, so many beautiful things you can share a word or two. And I want everyone to, share what you learned from this couple of hours with Susan. So what did you learn or what did you realize? If everyone can share whose videos are on, raise your hands and share. We start with Jagdish ji. Yeah.
Thank you, Susan, very much. Wonderful communication and 6 steps communication methods that you have told. And your presence is very touching, very heart-loving. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Vasudama, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Susan, I've always been listening to Manoj-ji telling me all this, but when I hear it from someone else, I believe him also a lot more. Because I so always think that he's just saying, like good with however the person is, look at the better side and blah, blah. And I was like, listen, you are a saint. You don't expect normal people to do all of this. So it's good too.
And the dynamic of this is the more famous someone is, the less their own family believes it. True.
Thank you.
No, that's what.
And you said that they love neighbors more than children.
No, that's where you people come as a great rescue to all of us.
Loved the Eureka moment. Loved it. I mean,
No, you are so expressive, so expressive. I mean, the way you do like that, I mean, it is so beautiful. And that's something we can learn, that, how we can be so expressive, just like a child. Guruji always says that be like a child, and that's the one which comes around in you. It's too beautiful, yeah.
Well, just remember, everybody, this is the after me. This is not the before.
Right.
I spent $1 million and more of my own money studying with great teachers since 1972, before many of you were born. Always studying. And any of my old friends who've known me in the 60s and 70s and 80s can tell you, well, she was trying to be like this. She wanted to be like this.